The AFC South race has been heating up over the past couple of weeks, with the Houston Texans clawing back after a 3-4 start behind some really strong performances from their defense and Davis Mills at quarterback. The Jacksonville Jaguars have maintained their pace the entire season at 7-4, and while the Indianapolis Colts got off to a very hot start to start the season, they're currently sitting at 8-3, and their division lead has shrunk a bit. While this division race seemed like it was going to go in the Colts' favor and they still have a 75% chance to win it, this division is up for grabs, and let's break it down here on Blitz Sports Media. Which team will be representing the AFC South in the postseason? What's going on, everybody? My name is Blitz Link, and we are talking the AFC South. And let's start off with the team that has been dominating this division the entire season in the Indianapolis Colts, who currently sit at 8-3 and are coming off of a loss against the Kansas City Chiefs, where they basically were beating up on the Chiefs through three quarters. And in the fourth quarter, they kind of fell apart. It felt like Shane Steichen's game plan was figured out by Steve Spagnuolo and company. The defense got shredded in the fourth quarter while they were very good around the red zone. The Chiefs were able to move the ball effectively up and down the field against this defense, and it's led them to another loss, and they're now sitting at 8-3. While this offense ranks elite in DVOA and EPA per play, it has been driven by Jonathan Taylor's rushing dominance, currently sitting at 1,139 yards. Daniel Jones has had a resurgent season for this team, currently sitting at a 101.6 passer rating, while being incredibly effective in terms of EPA and every single metric you want. He's utilized pass catchers like Michael Pittman Jr. and Tyler Warren that have helped this passing game go along with Jonathan Taylor and form one of the most unstoppable offenses throughout halfway through the season. Now, the last couple of weeks, they've slowed down a bit. Their offensive line allowed 12 sacks entering that Chiefs matchup, while they were much better entering or in the game against the Chiefs. The offense still sputtered, and Daniel Jones had a really rough second half where it was nowhere close. This offense put up 18 total yards in the fourth quarter compared to Kansas City's 253 yards. And while this defense made a big time addition in Sauce Gardner, this defense has been incredibly volatile throughout the season. Lateo Latu is their best defensive player. He has been so good this season in terms of getting off the edge, winning against different types of tackles. He had a big time interception against Patrick Mahomes this past weekend, and he might be their best defensive player. They're getting healthier in the secondary. Charvarius Ward returns from injury. Sauce Gardner is now out there as well. That forms a solid 1 and 2 duo on the outside with Lou Anarumo as their defensive coordinator. That's about as good as it gets. And, they have been able to score a ton and have a ton of production. But as of late, this offense and defense have not been playing complementary football. And it's caused the Colts to lose two games over Pittsburgh and Kansas City that I think a lot of people were expecting them to take care of business with. And it has people a little bit doubtful about the Indianapolis Colts to close the season. The Colts have 4 games remaining against the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars, while having 2 tough games sandwiched in there between the Seahawks and the 49ers that ultimately puts the hardest schedule of the 3 teams competing for this division race to close out the season. Let's talk about the team right behind them, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who currently sit at 7-4. While this team may be one of the more, I don't know what you want to call it, frustrating teams if you're a Jaguars fan to watch, currently sitting at 7-4. It's the Trevor Lawrence experience that perfectly sums up this offense. Lawrence last week had 3 interceptions, but he also had 3 touchdown passes, and this team found a way to win a gritty game against the Arizona Cardinals with a solid performance down the stretch from this defense, who has been very good at creating turnovers. I want to start off with Devin Lloyd and his impact that he's had on this defense. He single-handedly has impacted and changed games when he's been on the field. This team is 6-3 this season, so they have been very productive with him overall in the lineup this year. While their defense has allowed a ton of yards, they struggle in the secondary. They actually have a top 8 defense in rush DVOA, which bodes well against their division rival, the Indianapolis Colts, who love to run the football with Jonathan Taylor, and it's going to bode well against some heavy rush attacks in the postseason. This offense, though, has been decimated by injuries at the receiver position. Travis Hunter's out for the year. Brian Thomas Jr. has not been the same player and hasn't suited up in a few weeks. While he did make the addition of Jacoby Myers, this has been a makeshift group the entire year. And while Travis Etienne is having a resurgent year, this offensive line is produced at a very high level in run blocking win rate. This team has the ability with Liam Cohen as his head coach to find ways to score points. And the bright side for this team, They also have the easiest schedule of the bunch to close. They get the Titans a few times. They get the Colts obviously mixed in there as well. They get the Broncos. They have a very favorable schedule for them to take care of business and make up one game back right now in the division and potentially win it. And then the final team, the Houston Texans. The Texans maybe have the best defense in the NFL. Them and the Broncos, and then there's a massive drop off with the production on the defensive side of the ball. They are number one in yards allowed, 33 sacks, led by Daniil Hunter's 11. They rank strong in EPA defensively as well. And their 3-game win streak is also building momentum with Davis Mills at quarterback and CJ Stroud currently injured right now. I know CJ Stroud looked really good against Denver prior to the injury, but before that, like, he was very inconsistent, and Davis Mills has brought a bit of stability to this team. And I think it was legit when we saw this team took down Buffalo on Thursday night, and it's because they were able to stop the run defensively, have 8 sacks of Josh Allen, cause some turnovers, and their offense did just enough to squeak by and win this game. The Texans may be the least of these 3 teams that has that knockout punch or blowout ability, but their defense is going to keep them in every single game because that unit is elite. One of the biggest things that's happened with this team, though, is they're relying more on their younger pieces. Jaden Higgins is playing more snaps outside. Woody Marks is playing more snaps at running back. And this offensive line is nowhere near as bad as many expected entering the season. And it has definitely helped with that offense production trending in the right direction as this team looks to fight back into this playoff mix. They currently sit at 6-5 while they're 2 games back right now. They do have games against the Indianapolis Colts coming up, and they split with the Jaguars that they should be able to take advantage of. They're sandwiched right between the Colts and the Jaguars in terms of win percentage, and it will get very interesting to see if they're able to take care of some of these matchups. In 2 weeks, they play Kansas City, and that will be ultimately the biggest test for this team to see whether or not the Texans or the Chiefs will make the playoffs. I think the winner of that game will step towards that direction for sure. So breaking all 3 of these teams down, I do think it's going to be very close race that a lot of people are not expecting. Indianapolis to run away with this thing is just unrealistic based on their schedule. While they've been a very good team throughout this season, they closed the year with a very tough schedule. Seattle is going to give them problems. I do think that the matchups against Jacksonville and their run defense pairing up with Indianapolis, there's a saying out there that the Jaguars take care of business against Indianapolis and Jacksonville every single season. So that is a hump that Indianapolis has to overcome as well. But with Jacksonville, my biggest concern is their quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. Can we really continue to see this inconsistent production from the quarterback position and see a ton of success? This team maybe has the lowest floor of the bunch, and they have the Titans twice on their schedule, where Cam Ward is coming off of 2 games against the Rams and the Seahawks, 2 of the best defenses in the NFL, and has looked better after the bye week. They could be a sneaky upset team for the Jaguars, who, if they lose, it's no longer a division talk. It's more of, are they going to make the playoffs talk with this team? And I think that with Trevor Lawrence, they need him to play smarter football. They need him to take care of the ball better. They need to find ways to dumb it down for Trevor Lawrence, put the training wheels on, whatever you want to call it, and make him not win games and rely on Travis Etienne and Bashal Tutin to win games for this team. And that provides them a very solid floor, along with that defense that is very opportunistic, creating turnovers. That is their best chance to win in the division. And then the Houston Texans are sitting there with the best defense of the bunch, but their schedule is incredibly tough, and they're going to have to take care of business against the Colts. They're going to have to beat the Chiefs. They're going to have to win some games that maybe a lot of people don't expect them. They do have the defense to do it, but can that offense score 24 to 27 points and take care of business? I don't know if they're that talented enough to be able to do it. If I were to break it down right now, I am leaning towards the Jacksonville Jaguars potentially taking this division. They just have the easiest schedule of the bunch. You take a look at it, they play some bad teams, the Titans mixed in there. You have divisional games against the Colts. If you split that, you're in a good spot. And then you got a Broncos game that could be tough. But the Jaguars are in a great spot to take care of business against an easier schedule. They're only 1 game back. And the Colts, right, I don't know what I'm going to get. Daniel Jones has been really good this entire season, but as of late, hasn't necessarily looked as good. And if you shut down Jonathan Taylor, you shut down a part of this offense. I do think Indianapolis is the most talented team of the bunch, but with their schedule, I think everything is up in the air. I don't think Houston is going to be able to compete for the division title. It seems like they're going to be sitting at 8-9 or 9-8, right around that mark, despite their elite defense. Let me know down in the comment section below which of these teams will be taking the AFC South. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button for more Blitz Sports Media content, and I'll catch you guys next time.